everyone, welcome to Aviva. It's been a long time since I first thought about creating my first video, but every time I sat down to start, something held me back. Like, what do I even talk about? Will people even care, or do I have something valuable to say? And then I realized maybe I don't need to teach anything to you at all, so please don't take it negatively or otherwise because I'm just here to actually share my experiences, share my realizations and everything all. So I'm not here teaching anything. Maybe I don't need to act like I have everything figured out, right? So maybe I just thought like maybe I need to just share my story like how I started realizing the things. So because if I look back, the biggest realization in my life, it never came from advices. They came from moments that forced me to see myself, to question everything I was doing. And maybe, just maybe, my story can do the same for someone else. So let me start with my grown up, okay? So I was born and raised in Nepal in a very lower middle class family. My parents, they have worked extremely hard to give us a decent life, but we never had more than what was necessary. After high school, I became a school teacher. It paid well compared to the average wage, and at the same time, I was pursuing my bachelor's degree in business administration. At that time, I felt like I was doing everything right because other friends of mine they were just studying, but in my case, I was working, studying, and earning a good money as well, right? So basically, when you'll be pretty young during your 18s or let's say your late teens, so at that time, if you're earning a decent amount, then that's all happiness, right? But no matter how much I earned, it was never enough to upgrade my life. So the struggle never ended here. So I decided to quit my teaching job and step into the corporate world. So I had done my bachelor's degree in business administration. So I started to step into the corporate world, and I luckily got a job as a marketing executive at a multinational company back in Nepal, thinking this would be the breakthrough I needed, but nothing changed. The cycle remained the same: work hard, get paid, pay bills, repeat. And every time I looked at my future, I saw the same thing: more struggle, but just in a different setting. I was on the same page, but just I was not being able to go beyond like whatever I had dreamed of, and my dream also started shrinking at that moment. So during that time, like I had finished my bachelor's degree. So at that time, like most of my friends, they have already gone to abroad, like very few were there. So at that point of time, my wife and I started thinking about Australia. We saw people living this calm, comfortable life here because all the things that we were able to see back from Nepal was the charming photographs near to the beaches and very, very like enlightened environment and so on. So we thought maybe this is it, maybe this is the way out, right? But now, so following this, we packed our bags, left everything behind, and moved to Australia, hoping for a better future. But nothing prepared me for what was coming. Life here wasn't easier, it was harder, way more harder back in Nepal, right? Back in Nepal, at least I had a farm, a small house to live in. If things got tough, at least I could have taken the break from employment and still survive. Once I took the break, before I jumped into the corporate world, like I was too much exhausted working the same thing, following the same routines and so on. So I took a break for around like 4 or 5 months, but still my life was not so much impacted, because at least I was able to eat the food, I was able to live under the shelter. So yeah, that's all. So but here but here like I can't even take a break, right? Because everything here had got a price: rent, bills, food. There was no room to stop and breathe. I worked long hours juggling jobs, sacrificing sleep, missing home, and slowly I started to feel it: the same cycle, but just in a different country. The same feeling of running but not moving. The same struggle, just with a higher currency. And that's when it hit me. The problem wasn't the place, the problem wasn't the job, the problem was actually me, right? I had changed my location, but I forgot to change myself. I forgot to reflect on myself, like, why am I not able to succeed, or why am I not able to bring the result that actually I wanted? So one night, being exhausted, frustrated, I was scrolling through YouTube, just looking for something to distract me from my reality. And that's when I heard a podcast. It wasn't anything fancy, but the person who was speaking there, said a line and that hit me like a punch to the chest. The line, I still remember that the same process gives the same result. If you keep doing the same thing, how can you expect a different life? And I paused over there, replayed that line, and suddenly everything made sense. I had spent years hoping for change, dreaming of a better life, but I had never changed myself. I was walking the same path, following the same mindset, making the same decisions, expecting a different result. And in that moment, I realized if I wanted a different life, I need to walk a different path. So same must be going in among you as well, right? Because most of the time, like the country when we grew up, if you are watching from the Asian country, basically what's the conception there is like the studies or the books are just during the time when you'll be studying at your schools or high schools or even at your college, right? I had like no experiences of touching any other books except my class book, yeah, my school books. So after that, like same thing might be happening to most of us as well. So in that case, like most of us wait for something external to change our job, our country, our circumstances. We think if we move somewhere else on more, work harder, things will be different, right? But actually the truth is nothing changes until we change, because only thing that's under our control, as according to my realization, as according to my understanding, is nothing is under our control except the same person, that is us, right? So only thing we can change is ourselves. So if we ever feel stuck, or if we feel like no matter what we do the result is always the same, so at that time maybe you should give a very good think about, like maybe it's not the world that needs to change, but maybe that's us that's need to get changed. So this is my first video, and honestly I don't know where this journey will take me, but if there's one thing I've learned, it's that change starts when we stop waiting for it and start making it happen. And maybe this is the first step for me as well. Thank you so much guys. So I hope you like the video. If you like the video, don't forget to hit the like button, and you can also follow the page so that I will be more motivated to make something more interesting in the upcoming future. So with that, thank you so much. See you next time.